How's it going? This is your boy B. Grinch, and I forgot to do the music. And it doesn't matter because it's not working. Anyway, welcome to Underground Live Radio. This is Mental Minutes with your boy B. Grinch, and I have a very special guest here, my very good friend D. And D hasn't been feeling so good lately. So we're going to find out what's going on with D, and we're going to try to help him. How you doing, D?
I'm doing good, thanks.
That's great. So right now, you're about to go into the pavilion, which I am a frequent flyer. I have frequent flyer miles to the pavilion because I've been there so many times. For those of you that don't know, the pavilion is a hospital for people that are, suffering from a mental ailment, whether it be depression or anywhere from depression to suicidal thoughts to schizophrenia to hearing voices in radios. I mean, any kind of mental ailment. You get what's called here in Florida Baker Act, the 72-hour hold, and sometimes you could be there up to a week depending upon your ailment. And our friend D here is going to get surveyed to find out what's going on with him. So how are you feeling, D?
I'm doing good. This is by my own choice. I'm going in there for help, and I feel good. I'm just depressed.
Okay. Now, do you know anything what exactly is triggering your depression? Do you have any idea?
No, I had an illness years ago, and I think it might have caused some chemistry in my brain to be messed up because I'm in a coma. So everything's good. I mean, I'm going to go get help.
Oh, and that's the right thing to do. I mean, if when in doubt, find out, and you have to find out what. First, the most important thing is when you're depressed, first of all, when you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden you start to feel depressed, you have to find out what's triggering that depression. And it could be anything from work, financial means, girl problems, or
everything.
Anything and everything that causes any kind of stressor could be a trigger to depression. And depression is the easiest thing out of all mental ailments to get, is depression. Everybody suffers from depression in one way or another. It's just the severity of the depression.
And everybody should go get help if they have that depression.
Absolutely.
Go get help. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be embarrassed of. Get help. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to go get help, and everything will be okay. But don't be ashamed of anything.
You can't be. This is why
you can't be ashamed of cancer. You can't be ashamed of heart issues. It's all an illness.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm very outspoken on my shows. Oh, you're doing great. I'm very outspoken on my shows on Underground Live, on my new show, Be Grinch Live, on all my shows. Everybody knows how mentally ill I am. I mean, it's hard not to with the shit that comes out of my mouth. But
you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm totally crazy. I'm insane. But, I suffer from depression and chronic anxiety. I suffer from bipolarity and schizophrenia. And I'm very well medicated, but it took 20 years for me to get on the right medication. I mean, but I think medication and therapy go hand in hand. And at one time, if you would have asked me, I would have said, oh, you don't need medication, it's all in your head. But how do you feel about taking medication?
I feel the same way. I even said today, I don't want medication, I don't want it, but I need it. So I don't want it, but if it makes me feel better, if it gets me through this, everything's okay. So I don't want to close doors to anything. Try the medication, try therapy, try it all. I mean, I got to get help. And I really encourage your listeners, if they're feeling depressed or anything, don't question it. Get help. Right.
I mean, are you aware of the serotonin reuptakers and the norepinephrine reuptakers in your mind?
Not really, no.
Okay, well, what happens is when your serotonin comes off balance or your dopamine levels become off balance, you have to take sometimes SSRIs, which means serotonin re-up intakers. Okay, and it goes to the receptors of your brain to even out your serotonin, which is the most common reason that people feel depressed, because they have lack of serotonin or too much serotonin. And that is one medication. Unfortunately, the thing is with SSRIs is they could have a slew of side effects. One being the not being able to get a boner. I'll tell you a story. I was getting ready to have a threesome. I just started taking Paxil when I first started taking medication. And I just started taking Paxil, and I have these two gorgeous, gorgeous women at my house. And it's going to be my first threesome that I've ever had with these two beautiful women. And all of a sudden, I can't get a boner. And they're looking at me like, how could you not be getting a boner right now? And I'm thinking to myself, how can I not be getting a boner right now?
Pressure.
It wasn't. It was the medicine. It was a side effect. So I called my psychiatrist the next day, and I told him, I said, what's going on with me not getting a hard on? He goes, oh, that's a side effect of the medication you're taking. I said, you're giving me medication for depression, and then I have the first opportunity to have my first threesome, and now I feel like I want to blow my brains out because it was horrible.
It could be medication, blood pressure medication affects the hard on, everything affects anything you take. So, but take it to get better.
That's exactly what you have to do.
Take it to get better, and other than that, fuck your brains out.
Exactly. Because something like I have issues with my penis because of all the medications I take, but my doctor was nice enough to put me on Cialis. Now I fuck like crazy. You know what I mean? And that's the hand in hand medication that you could take when you're having side effects like that. Is you could take things like sildenafil, Viagra, Cialis, Tridenophil.
So you prefer Cialis over Viagra, or it doesn't matter, or does it all work?
Cialis works better for me. Viagra does absolutely nothing for me whatsoever.
Never taken any of them.
Well, it's something that I need and I have to take, and it's a medication, and I take it every day.
There's nothing to be ashamed of for that.
Not at all. Especially when you have a penis like mine. I got to put it to use. And it's a shame that sometimes he wouldn't rise to the occasion, but now he's in attendance whenever I need him to be.
That's cool. That's a good thing.
But most importantly, it's, when you find that you're struggling with an issue, okay, whether it be depression or anxiety.
Anxiety is a big one.
Yeah, anxiety is a horrible, horrible feeling. And, a lot of people feel like they get anxiety attacks, or they'll be real quick to say, oh, I had a panic attack. There's a big difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack.
Yep, absolutely.
An anxiety attack, you might get short of breath. You might feel like an elephant is sitting on your chest. It's hard to breathe. Your heart is palpitating. Your hands are shaking. But a panic attack, you want to die. Like it's an anxiety attack, like hurricane speed. You can't breathe. When I get a panic attack, which I'm fortunate, I only get about one a year. One good panic attack a year.
That's good.
It brings me to the ground in
Not
the fetal
good
position.
You get them, but once a year. I mean,
it's all part of the course. I drop to the ground in the fetal position, and the temperature drops 10 degrees, and I start shivering, and I crawl in my bed under the covers.
Done that.
Yeah, I pray to a God that I don't even believe in to please stop this. And if I can crawl to my Klonopin and take a couple of Klonopin in a couple of minutes, it goes away.
I get it. I'm just happy I'm getting help. I'm going to go get help. I encourage all of you out there listening, go get help if you're sad, if you're depressed, anxiety. Just there's nothing to be ashamed of.
There's no shame in it whatsoever.
There's no shame. And that's, go get help. That's all my point is, get help.
Well, I'm glad that you're getting help.
Yeah, I need it. Yeah, I've known you for a while, and anxiety gets to me, and I'm getting help.
I'm so happy to have it. And you're getting help at a good place. The Pavilion is a really nice place.
Gonna go there on my own terms. Gonna go do it and be there 3-4 days maybe.
Right.
Get some good rest. Maybe I just need sleep.
I'll tell you what, I call it Club Pavilion.
Club. Yep.
Because they have great food there. The nurses there are incredible. They take real good care of you. And the doctors there seem to be very good. And, you might want to come out of this seeking, possible therapy or a doctor. I don't know how you feel about that.
Grinch. I mean, that's the best therapy in the world.
I'll be a therapist. I'm not a professional, guys. I'm not a professional, but I'm very well versed in psychiatric. I have a pretty good psychiatric disposition. So I'm very well versed when it comes to the psyche and some medications. And I think that you're probably just one pill away from happiness.
Absolutely. But let's keep this happy. Let's get off the depression thing. Everybody will be happy, and let's not make this negative. It's a good thing. Go get help, and I'm going to be happy, and that's it.
That's the attitude that you guys listening have to have, because it's very important that you can go and be ashamed of your ailment and not get help because you say, oh, that's stupid, that's for crazy people, and then you go on and you suffer for your life or for however long it takes before you finally say, I need to get help.
Deal with the illness, not the stigma.
Exactly. Yes. That's a great way to put it. Deal with the illness, not the stigma. Because, and nobody has to know. You don't have to tell anybody. I really appreciate you coming on the show, D, and sharing your experience with me, because, otherwise I'd be doing the show talking, about you without your input, and I'm very glad that you came onto the show.
Well, I thank you. If anybody listen, just deal with the illness, not the stigma. That's my statement. Yeah,
that's a great statement. And for those of you, if you didn't hear, deal with the illness and not the stigma, because people don't really judge you. Especially when you're on medication, it's not like you have to say, hello, Bob. My name's Stan, and I'm mentally ill. You don't have to put your hand out and shake you don't have to give them your mental resume. You become free, and it's like a 10,000 pound weight lifted off your chest when you're able to not have to deal with depression or anxiety or any of those ailments, because they're hard on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, it's a new day tomorrow. Moving forward, new day.
That's great.
Getting help.
That's great. And you're starting tomorrow?
Tomorrow or Saturday. I'll let you know.
It's going to change your life.
Absolutely.
I will tell you one thing. Going to the pavilion is very entertaining.
Watch the crazies.
Let me tell you something.
Not to offend crazies, but I'm...
these people are fucking nuts.
I'm a crazy, and I'll go and do what I need to do.
I was in the pavilion once, and I have this Haitian girl, and she keeps showing me her vagina, and I'm like, oh my God, this is disgusting. No, man, this girl was nasty. And then she starts writing me in crayon on papers and handing me, touch my vagina. And I had to go to the nurse after it got unbearable. And I had to say, please, this girl will not stop showing me her vagina and writing me notes to touch her vagina. And they had to take her off the wing. But
some bad snapper.
Very bad snapper. Very bad snapper. But then again, I had a guy who thought he was Michael Jackson, and you'd say, hey, Michael, and he'd say, hee hee. And my friend Evan and his wife came to visit me one day, and I was like, hey, you guys want to see something great? Because look, I might be crazy, but I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? I keep my shit.
You feel better about yourself sitting in there. Looking at other people, you feel better about yourself.
Well, they're there for your entertainment.
I'm not that crazy.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy that thought he heard messages coming out of a radio. That's a severe illness right there. This guy actually took on a personality of Michael Jackson, and I had him come over to my friends, and I was like, hey, Michael. And he's like, yes. I said, come here and bust a move for my friend Evan and his wife. So he comes over, man, and he dances just like Michael Jackson. He gets up on his tippy toes, grabs his balls, and he's like, hee hee. And all I could tell you was, my friend Evan and his wife, their jaws dropped like, B, what the fuck did you just do? How did you get this guy to do that? But that's his ailment. And he needs medication to come to be himself again. But
nothing wrong with being Michael Jackson. He made fortune. I mean,
yeah.
Can't believe he's gone already. But no. Go to those places, get help, and realize you're not as crazy.
Right. And become yourself again.
Yep. Just be who you are.
Exactly. And you want to be mentally fit, mentally healthy, so you can lead a productive life. And if it's at the cost of taking a pill a day, I say take it. God knows I'm on like 11 different medications to keep my shit straight. But
I take an aspirin. That's
wow.
Take an aspirin.
Well, there are great medications for depression. There are medications that might work for you, might not work for me, and vice versa. But let them evaluate you.
I'm going to go learn. Just
go learn.
Go learn and get what I need, the help I need, and go get help if you're depressed. Go do it.
That's what you have to do. And we're running out of time now. We're down to our last 40 seconds. I want to thank Dee for coming in and sharing his experience with us.
Thank you for letting me ramble.
No, you didn't ramble. You were very helpful. So, guys, this is your boy B. Grinch saying, if you need help, go get it. It's out there for you. Don't be ashamed.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Not at all. So, with love, keep it real. Love each other. And peace the fuck out, will you? Stop taking things so seriously.